Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of Whiteboard Wednesdays, and I am super excited to have you on here. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to build the best commission structure for your sales reps and your appointment setters. We've tried multiple things across the last decade of our agency, and I'm going to share some of the things that just worked really good. I'm also going to show some of the things that work really bad that you don't have to try and waste your money on. So hopefully these things you can start implementing into your business today and start really growing your sales department and keeping your salespeople top producers, as we would call it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So first thing I'm going to do is get my handy dandy whiteboard out. All right, cool. So what I want to focus on is the type of position. All right, so within your sales organization, there's usually two different types of positions that you'll probably have, right? And as you start scaling out your sales organizations, the hierarchy will start splitting up, but we're going to keep it simple here on the video. So you're going to have you're going to have a sales rep. Okay, this is your sales guy or gal. These guys are your closers, right? So we probably know that term in the community. These are your closers. These are the guys closing deals, running credit cards, sending out contracts. These are those people, okay? And then you have, if we go one step back, actually, we know them today. We call them fronters, right? Okay, so we have your fronters and then your closers. And fronters have different terminology across many different industries. Fronters are appointment setters. They are prospectors. They are basically the people who actually get people to raise their hand and say, yes, Chad, I'm interested in this service. I'd like to speak to somebody about more information. And what these fronters do essentially is these fronters book calls for your sales rep. They fill up their calendar, right? That is their sole job. All they do all day is dial out to people, whether you're doing phone calls or sending emails or messages or answering inbound calls or whatever stream of leads and traffic that you have coming in. What fronters do is take that stream of traffic, filter it to people who are actually interested and qualified, and get them on a calendar for the sales reps. That is all they do. And we need to make sure that they do that really, really well. Now, sales reps, they're the ones who are going to kind of take the baton, and they're next in the relay race. And their job is literally to close the freaking deal. That's what they need to do. They need to make that money, man. So they're going to be out here, and their focus is, how do I generate more cash? How do I get more sales month over month? How do I increase quota? How do I increase revenue for the company? How do I increase my commission? How do I increase my revenue for my livelihood, right? This all boils down to them selling more, and that's really the main KPI. So once again, KPI over here for fronters is literally, usually in our industry, it's appointments, right? Just say apps booked, right? So it's appointments booked, right? And once again, just to not to confuse anybody, appointments booked basically means somebody was interested, I filtered them out, they were good, and I booked them on the sales rep's calendar. One appointment booked for me, 1 point for me, okay? Sales reps, their main KPI is sales revenue. Obviously, there's many other things that we can look at. I'm not going to get into that here on this call. We're just going to look at the high-level overview of how to build out these commission structures. And if we focus on the main KPIs, so we were like, okay, well, fronters, their main thing that they should be doing all day and what they're looking at and what they're counting in and they're reporting, what their managers are looking at, what me, the owner, is looking at is, how many appointments did this dude book a day? How many appointments did he book in the month, in a week? Whatever the case is, right? I'm looking at appointments booked. And if I'm the owner and I'm looking at one of my sales reps, I'm like, how much money did this sales rep bring into the company today, this week, this month, right? How much dough did this person bring in? That's what we really need to figure out, right? So I need to be able to track and set KPIs for sales revenue brought into the actual company. Cool. Now I know my two KPIs. Now what I need to do is fronter. Let's just go back to the cool term of closer. Okay, we have our fronters and we have our closers. We know our fronters' main KPI is going to be appointments booked, right? That's going to be their main KPI here. And for closers, it is that dough, the money, moolah. It is revenue, right? How much revenue they brought in. Cool. We know that. Let's go ahead and change the color here. We know that that's what we're looking for. We're looking at these two things. These are our KPIs, okay? Now what we have to think about is, what are the expectations that we need to give these actual people that are doing these jobs? Because I'm just going to tell you from experience, I used to do fronting myself in our own agency. I've done almost every single position in my agency and in my company. And if you're not doing it yourself, you don't understand how it feels to do that physical position. Can't build a structure around it, can't build a protocol around it, can't really be successful at it a lot of times unless you're doing it yourself first. Because you really need to get into that concept and that mindset of, wow, I understand what this position actually entails. Okay, so putting that aside and moving forward, I know on average when I was doing appointment setting, and I consider myself one of the best appointment setters because I have a high quality for myself and I'm just really good at speaking to people and being conversational, and those are one of the main traits you need to be a fronter or a closer, right? So I know that on average, when I was doing, and a little storytelling here. So we had our call center, and inside of our call center that we built, we were selling Insta-Sites. If you don't know what Insta-Sites is, go to DashClicks.com, go check it out. It's a tool where you as an agency can build websites for clients within literally seconds. Okay, so what we used to do is we used to call people and we used to say, hey, just went ahead and built you a free website. I would love for you to check it out. I'd love to send you the link. I can send it to you via email or via SMS. Let me know which one is better. Would you like to see the brand new 30-page website that we built for your plumbing company or for your locksmith company or for your real estate agency, right? And if that person said, yes, I would love to see the website, Chad, set it up for me, I would have some pre-qualifying questions that I would just confirm with them to make sure that they're a good fit. And if they were a good fit, 1 point for Chad. Okay, I would book that call. That is an appointment book. That is my KPI. I hit one quota for the day. Okay, I booked one appointment. All right, on average of me doing that, I know I was doing like 5 to 10 of these every single day. Oops. Every single day. I was doing 5 to 10 of these every single day. Let's go day. I was booking 5 to 10 appointments every single day. Now, I cannot expect a fronter that I'm going to bring in and hire to do the same thing that I'm doing. That's where we're going to go back to expectations. It is not possible. It is not going to happen. You're going to set yourself up for failure. Your expectations are going to be way too high. This person is going to end up losing his job because you're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy because they didn't hit any KPIs or their commissions, and everything is going to fold on you, and you're going to be back to square one doing it yourself. So set expectations properly, and do not be a loser losing your fronters and your closers, okay? I'm just telling you from experience. It happened to me. I was that loser. Don't be the loser. Okay? So, going in 5 to 10 a day. Now, what I want to do is, if in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm doing like 5 to 10 of these a day. What would I be happy with, right? What would I be happy with? What if they can do 2 to 5 a day, right? Let's say they can do like half of what I can do. All right, so let's just say, forget about this. Chad's the boss of fronting. He's the best of the best. I know that I'm bringing in a brand new person. Let's track them at 2 to 5 appointments booked per day. Okay, now let's start doing some calculations here. This is where it's going to get fun. If I'm doing 2 to 5 a day, and I am working 5 days a week, and let's just say there are 4 weeks at least in a month, we can start doing some calculations here. Let's just say at the high tip, if this person is doing 5 every single day and he's crushing his quota, right? And he is a top fronter for me and he's doing 5 a day. That means he's going to do 5, right? Times 5. That's 25 new appointments that he's going to book on my calendar every single week. And if I do 25 times 4 in 4 weeks, that means I am basically going to be left with 100 leads per month. That is my outcome. Boom, that's my trophy. This is my top producer. Okay, now if I go backwards and I'm like, all right, let's go on the low end. This dude books 2 a day. He's one of my really bad fronters who needs a lot of training and a lot of help, right? 2. If I take 2 and I go 2 times 5, he's booking 10 of these every single week, and I go 10 times 4. This guy is doing 40 leads per week on the low end. So I know I got a spread between about 4 leads per month here, right? So I know I got a spread there, man. Like, I need to make sure that these guys are qualified. So you can see the difference here as you start breaking this down. Let's focus on top producer, okay? Let's just say, as an example, I had somebody who is getting 100 leads per month. All right? What you want to do is you want to focus on creating a structure where everyone wins. That is how you have a successful sales organization. Now, some win more than others, though. And that's one thing that we need to do. If you're a top producer, you're always going to win more than the lowest producer. That's just the name of the game in sales, right? So what we want to do, and this is what we did for every single one of our positions for the fronting department, we would set up different structures. We would have different packages for them, right? So we'd have package number 1, package number 2, whatever. So we'd have 1, 2, 3. And our packages would just be named different things. It would be like the bronze package, right? We would have the gold package, right? And then we'd have the diamond package, right? And these are like top producers. Everybody wants to be in the diamond package, right? And what we're basically saying is, hey, if you are closing, okay, and go mid-tier here, what's the goal that you want? You want to get at least a minimum of, let's say, 40 appointments booked per week. If they're not getting 40 a week, that's an issue. That means that they're not doing the least that they're not doing at the least what they should be doing, right? So what I want to do is I want to take that number and I want to put that over here. So 40 leads per month. All right. Now I want to go in the middle of 40, okay, and 100. I want to find that medium spot. All right. And let's just say, I'm not good at math, but let's just call it, I'm going to say 75. All right. That might not be it, but it's just a middle tier number that we can work off of. Okay. And then at my top producers, I know that they're crushing it. They're doing 100 a month. All right. And what you want to do is you want to put bonus packages on each one of these. And at the end of the month, you want to tally that up and you want to put them into a category. All right. And what happens is, and this is what happened with us, when you have multiple fronters on your team, these guys are always going to strive to get to the best of the best because now it becomes a competition for them. And this is where it gets fun. You have a competition between other people and everybody's fighting for that top spot, right? So let's just say that we have this structure. Now what we need to do is put an actual dollar amount on it. And this is what I'm going to tell you is going to be different for every single one of you. Now, some of you guys might be hiring VAs. Maybe you're hiring VAs in the Philippines or in any other place, or you have in-house fronters that are doing this. But I think for the majority of you guys are probably working with some VAs in the Philippines. And that's pretty standard. That's the way that we did it when we had our call center, right? So what you want to do is you want to create a bonus package for each one of these packages, which basically means, hey, Chad, if you hit this package, or if you hit this package at the end of the month, or this package, I am going to pay you X amount of dollars as a bonus for hitting that package aside from your payroll, right? And how you want to craft these is always it's salary plus commission for the fronters. So it's salary plus bonuses. And this is where it really comes down to. I've seen a lot of people structure it where it's like, hey, every appointment you book, I'll give you $1 as an example, right? You don't want to do that because then you're counting every single appointment and that just gets tedious. What you really want to do is do it on a monthly so they have a goal, because in sales, some days are shitty. Some days are really good, and those will start getting averages, right? And that's what you want to look at as a manager, as an owner, or CEO, or an operator. You want to look at the averages. You don't want to look at it per day because you're never going to get real numbers like that, okay? So now what you want to look at is, well, what's 40 leads per month worth to me to keep this fronter happy, right? So let's just say, hey, if you book 40 leads per month, I'm going to give you an extra $100. I'm going to give you an extra $100 that month if you hit that quota and you get into the bronze package. Or if you are in the gold package and you hit at least a minimum of 75 per month. And this is where we get another pro tip for you. If they hit 74 that month, dude, you're in the bronze package. You didn't get to the gold package. You were off by 1. Numbers are numbers, man. Step it up, right? You have to be like that. You cannot let them tip over if they didn't hit that number. They didn't hit that quota, right? If you hit 75 booked appointments, I'm going to give you $250 here, right? And if you hit 100 booked appointments in that month, I'm going to give you $500. I'm going to give you a bonus, right? Once again, this is just an example. This could be literally $10 if that's what you wanted to do. That's cool, right? It could be $1,000. The numbers are up to you, but you need to make, I don't know what you're selling, right? But you need to make sure the numbers work out. But this is how you want to create the structure for fronters, okay? Next, we're going to move over to closers. All right, now on my closer side, I know that if I'm getting 100 leads, now we're going to the top of the funnel here. I know that if 100 leads this month were booked, okay, 100 leads this month were booked on my closers calendar, okay, I know that I'm going to have a no-show rate. And I know on average probably about 30 to 40% no-show rate is average, which basically means I really don't have 100 leads. This is, once again, setting proper expectations. Look at historical data. Look at the data that you're working with. Look at the metrics. Do not gauge people on unrealistic expectations. If I have 100 leads per month, I know of historical data, I'm probably going to have at least a 30% no-show rate. Okay, let's just call it that. So in reality, that brings me down now to 70, that I know there's going to be 70 phone calls or demos that this closer is going to be able to do. All right, now out of those 70 that he actually did that month, I know that my conversion rate based on historical data is, let's just say, let's call it 10%. All right, now each one of you are selling different items. You're low ticket, high ticket, right? 10% conversion rate. Okay, now I know that if I have a 10% conversion rate on 70, that's 70 deals that I'm closing every single month. Now, how much are those deals worth, right? So now those deals, let's just say if I was selling Insta sites, like in our call center, we were selling Insta sites we were floating around like $200 on low end to $500. Let's just say as an example, you were selling them for $500 a pop, okay? And that's 5 now times 7. I'm the worst at math, but I'm going to say 300, that's $3,500 in setup fees. And then I was charging another $50. I was charging another $50 per month. So that is going to be another $350 a month that I'm adding now to my MRR, my monthly recurring revenue, right? So I got two metrics I'm pointing in that I'm segmenting here for my revenue. It's cash taken, right? So setup fees, and in this case, it's my MRR. So this closer added $350 a month to my MRR from selling these websites, and $3,500 a month in setup fees, as an example to you. Once again, your products could be completely different. You could have products where each deal is worth $1,000 per deal. That'd be $7K that you closed, and they're all recurring revenue. It's $1,000 a month, right? So you're booking $7,000 in monthly recurring revenue, right? So you wouldn't have any setup fees. You'd have one metric to look at. But now what we want to look at is how do we actually position the closer for success. So really what you want to do in a closer's position for somebody who's physically closing deals, we've tried multiple different options. We've tried the option of, hey, let's do commission-based only. That never works unless you're giving away a super high commission. We tried that. I can give you an example. We had a package that we were selling. It was $399 a month and for a 6-month contract, and $149 setup fee. It was a little marketing package that we were selling back in the day to local businesses in our area. And we had somebody that would go door to door selling these packages, and we were selling on average of about 2 of these per week, right? So we were booking $400 plus $150 setup fee, so that's $550 times 2 is $1,100 every single week in revenue that he was bringing. Plus, it was monthly revenue. Now, because it was monthly revenue and it was contracted for a minimum of 6 months, what we were doing is we were giving them 50% of gross sales. So they were booking $1,100 on average in new sales, and they were making like $550 a week, right? The problem with that is there were weeks where were bad, there was weeks that were good, and those averages for salespeople sometimes that doesn't work for every person, right? So what you want to do is you want to create salary plus commission. That's the only way to really keep closers and to keep them engaged in your product, and to actually, most closers, they need revenue. They need money to eat, feed their kids, wife, family, husband, whatever it is, right? They need that, right? So you need to be able to provide for them. So for closers, what you want to do is S plus C, salary plus commission. This is what we found out to work the best for us. So salary plus commission. I'm not going to go into the amounts of salary that you should pay because every closer is different, right? But this is the way that you really want to structure it. And you also want to structure, so you'll have a base salary, right? So you have a base salary. Let's just say, as an example, whatever, you got $500 a week that you're paying top level, whatever, closer. That's their base salary, but most closers don't look at salary, they're looking at commission, as an example, right? Then you want to put a commission. So let's just say here in this specific scenario, down here over to the right, I know on average he's booking about 7 deals per week, bringing about $3,500 in setup fees, and bringing another $350 in monthly recurring revenue. So what I would maybe do is say 10% of or 20% of generated credit cards processed during that month. So you literally charged essentially $3,500, right? Plus, that was the setup. Plus, you also charge another $350. It's almost $4K. Let's just call it $4K in sales to make life easy. I'm going to give you 10% of the $4K. That's another $400 for that month. Or if you're doing 20%, it would be $800 for that month. You see how these leverage out. So I got $500 a week base pay, plus I'm making an average of about $800 a month in commission. That's enticing to me, right? You can even do cool things like adding MRR packages, right? So you're like, hey, from the MRR that you book, you're also going to get, 2% of all the MRR that you book, which basically means now it's an incentive plan. As MRR is booking, you're essentially paying them on the MRR as the MRR is coming in, right? So guys, hopefully this helped you out. This broke down fronters, closers, and all the different strategies and processes that you can put into play here. Once again, if you are watching this on YouTube or on social media or anywhere where you are, do me a big favor. One, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, that's where you're going to get new. We do these weekly videos. You're going to get this content pumped out every single week. You'll get notified by YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Another thing is go ahead and hit the like button below. And biggest and most important thing is engage with us. Drop comments in the feed below, in the comments below. I will personally go into the comments and answer every single one of them for you, so we can chat right down here, right at the bottom in the comments here. Okay, this is a place to go. So leave all your comments. If you're pumped up, leave really good feedback for us on what you thought of this video and what type of tips you're going to basically take and implement inside of your company. So hopefully this helps, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. Have an amazing day.